Hi there. Welcome back once again to Cooking with Doerle. On today's episode, we're going to be making pan-fried chicken. Very simple and very tasty. Enjoy.
Cooking with the Doerle. Cooking with the Doerle. Cooking with the Doerle.
Alright, welcome back once again everybody to Cooking with Doerle. As I said before, on this episode we'll be making pan-fried chicken. This is a really simple recipe, something I remember really fondly from my childhood, growing up with my grandparents. You know, we'd have pan-fried chicken, mashed potatoes with white gravy, peas. It makes me think of sitting around the dinner table and family, watching MASH and Judge Wapner on the TV. It's real specific memories I know, but it was right around dinner time. That's when that came on. Like I said before, this is a really simple recipe. It's something you can throw together. Doesn't take that long, although if you want to do it right, you want to kind of start it in advance. Now the first thing you're going to need is chicken, pieces of chicken. I just bought a couple of whole fryers, chopped them up, the breasts, the wings, the legs, and the thighs. And what I do is I soak them in milk. You can soak them in buttermilk, regular milk. But you want to soak them for about an hour. It helps gives them a real nice creamy texture, a lot of good flavor. Soak it in the milk. What I did is I put it in a 1 gallon Ziploc baggie, put the chicken in there, filled it up with milk, and then sealed it and just let it sit. I've drained it out in the bowl just so it's easier for you to see. You're going to want a couple of racks with pans underneath of them, and then the breading. Now the breading that I made here is just regular all-purpose flour. We've got about 4 teaspoons of salt, a couple teaspoons of fresh ground black pepper, and normally I'd use cayenne pepper, but I didn't have any, so I used some dried ancho pepper, and just a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. I like to throw that into almost all my chicken and pork recipes. Now to get started here, what you're going to want to do is take the chicken out of the milk. And that's why we have this first pan, and that gives the chicken a place to drain. Just go ahead and pull this out, set it on here so it'll drip dry. You want to get most of that buttermilk off. You're going to dredge it through the flour, and it's still going to be moist so it'll still hold on to the breading. We pull these pieces off. Now I'm starting to get down in there. Since I don't want to be digging my hands into the milk, I'm going to pour this bowl out. That'll make it a lot easier to fish the pieces out. Smells good already. I really like that rich, creamy smell from the milk. You can see we got all our pieces here, breasts and thighs and wings and legs. Alright, we've got these out. We'll take our bowl, throw it in the sink. Let me just rinse my hands off too, because that milk smell, if it just sits on your fingers, it kind of gets funky, you know what I mean? I've got all my chicken out of the bowl, and I've got it all drained off. You shake it, you don't really see any liquid coming off of it, and that's what we want. It's still moist. Now real simply here, we're just going to run it through the flour. Just make sure you get the pieces nice and well coated. And we're just going to give them the 1 coat of flour. That's all you need for this recipe. Makes a really nice crispy batter on there. Make sure we get all the pieces nice and covered. We're actually going to wind up doing 2 drops of the flour because my pan isn't quite big enough to hold all the pieces, and I don't want them sitting on top of each other. So I'm just going to go and put 1 whole chicken in here. I've got about 1 1/2, 2 chickens cut up right now and soaked. Some of the other meat I reserved for another dish. We'll go and get these dredged through the flours, and we'll go onto our pans. Now what I'm going to be cooking these in is I've got a couple of cast iron skillets. You can use any large frying pan as long as it's deep. Just needs to be a couple inches deep and needs to be big enough to hold the chicken. I've got vegetable oil in the pans, and I've got them heating up right now. They're on a medium heat, and you're going to want to get the oil up to about 300 degrees. I've got a candy thermometer that I'll use to check that. You can use any thermometer you want, or another good way to check is just go and take a piece of potato, a small piece of potato, throw it in there. If after about a minute it's floating and it's starting to turn brown, be cooked, then it's hot enough. Okay, and like most cooking, it's not necessarily exact. If your oil's a little bit hotter, that's okay. I like cooking my pan-fried chicken at a lower temperature because it does take a while to cook. A breast might take 25 minutes, 30 minutes to cook, but it's fried chicken, so normally it will anyway. Alright, we'll get 1 more thigh in there, and that is 1 whole chicken. Alright, now that we've got our pieces battered here, I'm going to go check my pans, make sure the oil is hot enough, and then I'll meet you over there and we can get started cooking. Alright folks, we're over here at my stove. I've got my cast iron skillet with my oil in here, about 3/4 of an inch oil, sitting right around 300 degrees. Next to me, I've got my pan with the chicken, and we're gonna start cooking it. And it's real important that you cook it in the right order. All the different pieces of chicken are not gonna cook at the same speed. Breast is gonna take way longer than a thigh or a leg or a wing. So we're gonna put them in that order: breast, thigh, leg, and wing. Start with our breasts, and you wanna take it, tap off all the extra flour, go ahead and just set it down in there, bone side down. Okay, we've got those in there. Now these are some pretty big meaty thighs, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in right at the same time as the breasts. Alright, we're going to let these sit and cook for a few minutes. Then we'll turn them over and we'll start adding the other pieces. As you can see, it's bubbling away nicely, frying really well. Already, I'm excited about this. As you can see, my chicken is cooking away nicely here. The breasts are right around 170 degrees. That's where I want them to be. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off here. They're going to keep cooking. The oil's still going to be hot. I'm going to go ahead and move my one pan back just a little bit so I have some space to take the chicken out. Alright, I've just got one of my baker's racks on a shallow baking pan. And we're going to go ahead and pull this chicken right out. Now it hasn't hit 180 degrees yet, but that's okay. It's still hot. It's going to finish cooking as it rests, and it is going to be fantastic. Let me get this balanced so I'm not knocking my pan over. There we go. And if you'll notice, the thighs and the breasts are a lot darker than the wings and the legs, but that's because they haven't cooked as long. If you get pan-fried chicken and all the pieces are the same color, especially the small pieces, they're probably a little bit overcooked. But those are looking beautiful. I wish you could smell this. It smells incredible. But of course, when you make this for yourself, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to pull my pieces out in the order that I put them in, starting with the breasts, then the thighs, the legs, and the wings. We'll give that one just one more second here. Pull it out. Alright, and there's our chicken. Look at all that. Doesn't it look incredible? Make sure you get a good shot of it. That looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and let this rest for a few minutes. I'm going to put a plate together. We're going to see how it tastes. Alright, I've got my chicken here on my plate. And I've actually already eaten one of the wings, and it turned out incredible. But let's go ahead and cut into this chicken here, and I can show you what it looks like. Skin is nice and crispy, but not too much so. And that is just perfect looking on the inside. Nice and white, juicy looking, all the fluid is clear, and the smell that comes out of it is just beauty. You cannot imagine how good this is. That's why the great thing about this video is you don't have to imagine, because after this video, you'll be able to make some of this yourself. Let's give it a try and see how it tastes. The breading has really great flavor. It's crispy. Flavor isn't overpowering. It doesn't take over the chicken. It's really good. This is some juicy chicken. I'm really glad I made this today. I hope you're glad that I made it as well. I really enjoyed this episode, and I hope you did. Till next time, don't forget to like and subscribe my videos. Share them to all your friends. Try making some of this for yourself too. We'll have some new videos up after this one real soon. And until next time, enjoy.